Hello everyone. While I was editing this video, I noticed that there were a lot of flashing lights, and I just wanted to give a flashing lights warning before we got into the video. So if that is something that bothers you, just keep that in mind. And yeah, I hope you all enjoy the video. Hello everyone, I am Casey the Gamer, and it's time for another game review. This week, I am taking a look at the sci-fi western shoot 'em up, Wild Guns. Wild Guns was developed by Natsume and released in Japan on August 12, 1994, and in July of 1995 in North America for the Super Nintendo. I had never heard of this game until just recently. I stumbled across it online and I saw that it was a Western game with robots in it, and it looked fun as hell, so I had to try it. So, let's take a closer look at Wild Guns and see how it all shakes out. The story of Wild Guns is a very simple revenge story, and it isn't too prevalent in the game itself. I had to look up the manual online to get more specific details. But, just in case, there are spoilers ahead. Annie teams up with the space bounty hunter Clint to get revenge on the Kidd family. The Kidd family abducted and killed Annie's family. Annie and Clint fight to destroy several crazy powerful robots before they confront the gang boss at the end. The final boss is defeated, and Annie and Clint escape from the base. Wild Guns is a pretty crazy, over-the-top sci-fi western gallery shooter. It is a blast. You play as Clint or Annie, and there isn't really a difference between the two besides having a different appearance. So, the basics of the game is you shoot at the enemies while trying to avoid their gunfire. Besides your basic gun, you can obtain various powerful weapons for a limited time to deal even more damage. These include a shotgun, a machine gun, and a grenade launcher. In addition to that, once you fill up the gauge at the bottom of the screen by killing enemies or shooting their bullets with your own, you will be made invincible temporarily and given the Vulcan gun, the most powerful gun in the game. If you get this to activate during a boss fight, the boss is pretty much shredded. Other things at your disposal is your lasso. Enemies you hit with the lasso will be frozen in place for a limited time. You also get bombs, which will damage the enemies currently on screen. Some enemies will throw dynamite at you. You're able to pick up the dynamite and throw it back. You are also able to perform a melee attack to hit the enemies that get close to you. Wild Guns features 6 action-packed stages. Each stage is broken up into 3 sub-stages, full of bad guys for you to put down. The first 2 sub-stages has you fighting enemies until the timer counts down. Once the timer reaches 0, you have to fight a mini-boss to move on to the next section. And then, on the final sub-stage, you fight the main boss of the stage. A lot of the robot designs are super cool, and they look really badass. Seeing them was one of my favorite parts of the game. The game can be a little difficult as you will die in one hit, so that can be a little frustrating and it can be hard to make it through the stages. But the game does have infinite continues, so there is that. Once you beat the intro stage, you are given 4 more stages to choose from. You can tackle them in any order. It doesn't really matter. They're all a good time overall. And then once you beat those 4 stages, you unlock the final stage. And once you make it through and defeat the final boss, you have beaten the game. Besides the single-player mode, there is a 2-player mode where 2 people play co-op through the stages. There's also a versus mode. I don't know exactly how it works, but it's nice to see that there are more options besides just the single-player mode. But I had a great time with just the single-player mode myself, and I will definitely be replaying it a lot. But I really do hope to try out the 2-player modes soon. Also, there was a newer version released a few years ago called Wild Guns Reloaded. It's on PC and several consoles. It uses the same graphics and everything, but it includes 2 new characters and ups the co-op from 2-player co-op to 4-player co-op. And that sounds like it would be really fun and chaotic. Definitely got to check that out as well. The graphics in Wild Guns are gorgeous. The character designs and backgrounds are wonderful. But the real standouts are the designs for the big robots. They look amazing. Not too much to say about the sound effects, but they are top-notch and they all hit just right. And the soundtrack is really good. All of the songs in the game complement the gameplay perfectly. It feels so good jamming to the soundtrack while taking out a bunch of bad guys. Wild Guns really surprised me. It was a game I never knew existed, but upon seeing it, I knew I had to play it. And I loved every minute of it, even when I was getting my ass kicked. If you want a really fun shooting gallery game, either single player or co-op, I imagine the co-op's fun, give Wild Guns a shot. I definitely can't wait to play it again and check out some multiplayer. Thank you all so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And if you want to see more of me, you can catch me streaming all kinds of stuff over on my Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/CaseyTheGamer91. And I also have a Patreon where you can get perks like early video access and some other really cool stuff. And that is patreon.com/CaseyTheGamer91. And you can find both of those links and all of my other links in the description below. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I hope to catch you next time. Peace out.